Hello, I'm Florent Boston. I am a freelance concept and background artist in the video games and animation industries. I mainly do environment design in a semi-realistic, semi-cartoon style. Thanks to my art, my goal is to convey emotions and make people travel through different universes. So I hope you got your ticket. Today, I would like to welcome you and show you how to create an environment painting using different techniques, some in 3D and others in 2D. For this first video, I will show you how I made my piece Poison Store using 3D blocking before painting over it. I will use PureRef, Photoshop, Maya, and Arnold for the 3D rendering. I also have the NVIDIA GPU technology that allows me to work faster and optimize software. I often start with a mood board. Usually, I already have in mind what I want, and sometimes I have sketches in my notebook, so I know what to look for. I avoid using too many concept art or illustration to avoid reinterpreting an artist's vision and to start from the basic materials. In this mood board, I put a sentence that summarizes my idea with different categories. I wanted to make a house on stilts in a forest. For the design section, the main inspiration was stilt house, notably those in Bangkok. I like the shapes and the texture as well as the accumulation aspect. In the environment part, it's everything that's going to be around, such as a forest with a lake, vegetation, birds, animals, and so on. For the inverse part, I wanted a soothing atmosphere with the sun filtering through the leaves, bringing the focus to my main subject. I also suggested another mood I wanted to try out. I created this mood board on PureRef, which is an interesting software for composing your mood board. It allows you to click and drag the image directly onto the board, whether it's from Google, Pinterest, and so on. The second interesting feature is the possibility of moving the window in front of the workman. I can paint while having my window moving in front. So now let's talk about the composition. Sometimes I separate the design and the composition, but for this example I did both at the same time. At this stage, I concentrate mostly on composition, silhouettes, and contrasts. It's a quick instinctive step that allows me to put down my different ideas. For the design, I didn't keep the high side of the houses on stilts, but rather its chaotic aspect. Here, I try to create a hidden environment, surrounded by vegetation where you can rest. After the composition research, I can select a thumbnail to continue my painting, but we'll see that in the next video. For this image, I wanted to use 3D, so I created this 3D blocking. 3D saves time in setting your perspective, base color, and lighting. You can test lighting and framing easily, which is also handy when working with a client. Of course, it also has its weaknesses. Depending on the style you want, you may end up with rigid shapes if you don't break up your 3D enough. You can also have readability problems if you don't correct the contrast and lose too much time if you push it too far. I still selected one of my thumbnails to use as a model. I won't go into the technical details as we'll see that in another video too. I'm trying to keep simple shapes with local colors as I'm going to repaint everything in Photoshop. You can see that I'm cheating with distance and light in my scene. The aim is not to create a model that will be used for a game or a film, it's just a support for the image. What I like about the 3D blocking is that it lets me change the mood of framing very quickly. Just by changing the sky dome and taking a photo, for example, a sunset, I can completely change the mood of my scene. For the lighting, I choose an area light that creates soft lighting, which is good for creating a soothing, timeless place. In the final version, I removed the two trees on the left so that the composition breathes more and is more welcoming. After the 3D base, it's time to start to paint over. The first thing I do is cut out the different planes to organize my image. I don't try to be precise because I'm going to redraw the shapes later. Often the contrast won't be correct, so I go to black and white to see what needs to be corrected. I don't hesitate to erase things from the 3D that interfere with the composition. The goal is to go over everything a bit to make people forget the 3D and give it a painted look. At the end of my process, I create an FX layer that allows me to punch the atmosphere. And that's it for this image. I hope you enjoyed this video. For the next one, we will see how to start directly from black and white thumbnails to end up with a color illustration.